If you're serious about the growth of your YouTube channel, you need to be treating it like a business. And every astute business owner knows that the value of investing in tools that not only streamline efficiency, but also turbocharge growth. Enter TubeBuddy. This powerhouse has been a cornerstone of my YouTube channel since the very first upload. And in today's live stream, I'm going to reveal some of its most powerful features and explain why TubeBuddy is the game changer that your channel can't afford to miss. Now, this is not a full tutorial. I have got many videos about TubeBuddy on my channel, and I've linked to the full playlist in the description. But I'm making this video now because TubeBuddy came up as a solution twice this week, both in the Take One Tech Academy and also during my Digital Stage Revolution event that I ran earlier on this week. And then TubeBuddy announced their 40% off Black Friday deal, which is running right now. So those were the signs that I needed that it was time to revisit TubeBuddy in this stream, and it's arguably one of the most important tools that you can have for your channel. So what is TubeBuddy? Well, imagine having a 24/7 assistant dedicated to optimizing your YouTube channel, one that knows the ins and outs of YouTube's complex algorithm and helps you navigate your path to success. That's exactly what TubeBuddy is all about. It's not just a tool, it's a comprehensive platform that acts as your personal guide when navigating the world of YouTube. So from advanced analytics to keyword research that gets your videos seen by the right eyes, TubeBuddy is engineered to amplify your channel's reach. So let's dive in and take a closer look at how this robust assistant can transform the way that you create and manage your content. And I'll just start with a little overview of what it actually looks like in YouTube, because it really does become something that feels a complete part of the YouTube studio environment. So if I just come over to my YouTube studio right now, what you'll see is that there is a deep integration at every single level. Now it starts with, okay, there's a little tab here. So if I click this, it's going to bring out a little pull-out bar here with some of TubeBuddy's key features. You'll also find it up at the top here. So as well as YouTube's create menu, where you've got various different things to upload content, you'll also find TubeBuddy is sitting there right next to it as well. And this is where you can get into many of the other tools from TubeBuddy. So Keyword Explorer, suggested shorts. It can actually find long form content and find potential shorts from within that for you. Click Magnet, Thumbnail Generator. I'm going to go through these in more detail a little bit later, at least the ones that I really like. But you'll also find TubeBuddy when you go to your content. When you go to upload a video, for example, or even just here, you can see that you've got some bulk and miscellaneous tools just up in here, again featuring as part of this menu bar along the top, but clearly identified with the little TB, the little TubeBuddy icon. If you come down to videos here, you'll also see it here that there is a little TubeBuddy icon there, and if I click on that, we've got some more TubeBuddy tools built in here. And then if you go into any specific video, there are also a series of tools built in there as well. So down at the side here, you'll see some upload information related to the video, TubeBuddy best practices. So really, you can see that there is deep integration here. If I go into analytics, the list goes on. It's everywhere throughout YouTube Studio. So it really does come to the point where if you know, when you've been using it for so long, you kind of forget that just how much stuff that it is actually doing that you kind of take for granted. And as I say, I've been using it since I started my YouTube channel, and it's been absolutely invaluable throughout that time. So what I thought I'd do is I would go through some of the different, the two different plans, and then just run down some of the feature sets. Because sometimes when you look at these pricing plans and you know, the features that are included in each, it may not necessarily mean anything to you, you know, if you're not sure what those things are. So I thought that that would be a good starting point to go through, talk about the two different plans that there are and what the differentiation between those are, and also which of those features I think are you know, are worth pointing out. They're all great, but we just can't cover them all in this single live stream. Before we do get on with that, though, I'll just say hello to Dan and George. Great to see you in the chat as well. And I'll just come straight over here, though, to start going through this one, if I share the right screen. So as I say, they are running a Black Friday deal at the moment. I've left the link in the description and also pinned to the top of the chat as well. And you can get 40% off by using, currently it's the code year40. I think that as we go through Black Friday, that code may well change. Hence, I've not actually linked the code in the description, but you'll just see it right at the top of the page. So it's not like you need to have some secret code to do it. They're making it very clear when you click the link that I've put in there, which is, by the way, my affiliate link. So always, affiliate links are a great way to support channels and creators. So that is my affiliate link. But when you go through, you'll see that there is this big bold sign at the top giving you the code to put in. Now, there are two pricing tiers here. There used to be three, I think. In some of my previous videos when I started, there were 3 tiers, but now there are just 2. One is called the Pro tier and one is called the Legend tier. You can ignore that if you're outside of Thailand. That is just the approximate cost in Thai baht, if you're interested, if you are in Thailand, which is where I am. So the Pro tier, $3.99, and the Legend is $25.20. Honestly, for the price of those, even without the discount, that doesn't include this 40% discount. So at the moment, there's 40% off those prices as well. I can just tell you that they're worth that price and probably 10 times more in terms of the amount of time that it can save you and the efficiency that it can add into your system. That's the way that I always look at these things: is what is the the time cost saving that I'm getting by using services. And for sure, this is paid for itself thousands of times over. I did actually start, when I started my channel, I wasn't really sure about TubeBuddy, so I started on just the low tier here, and quickly realized that there was something I wanted to do and it was worth switching over to the Legend, and I've never looked back. It's been really great. But let's talk about then these different features that they've got. There is a free version, by the way, a free trial as well, but I can highly recommend either of those other 2 tiers. There are some key things in the Legend level though that are just absolute game changers. So first of all, there is scheduled publish and scheduled video update and sunset videos, which are only available in Legend. That's something where you can sort of schedule things to go out in the future. You can do that within YouTube Studio in any case. So you might think, well, what's the point there? But you can have it so that you're making scheduled changes. So if you want to update something at a certain point, let's say, for example, you've got a special offer running and it's running till a certain time, you could have it update, certain aspects of the video at that time. You could also have sunset videos, which is we've got scheduled upload in YouTube. You may want to have it scheduled to switch to a private video or an unlisted video. Let's say it is a promotional video about an event that's coming up. You may want to sunset that video and just have it be taken down at a certain point in the future. Next, canned responses. That is to messages and things like that you're getting in your comments. Default upload profiles. So when you upload a video in YouTube, there is an option in YouTube Studio to basically add in a sort of stock description that you're going to use. So all of my videos, if you look down in the description, obviously the bit at the top where I'm talking about the content that I'm going to be covering in that video is obviously specific to that video. However, there is a sort of block down at the bottom which includes my links to my studio gear and all of that kind of stuff. So that is something you can do in YouTube. In any case, in YouTube Studio, just set that default. What this TubeBuddy feature, though, allows you to do is, let's say you cover multiple different topics. Like, for example, I focus on, right now we're talking about YouTube growth and TubeBuddy, but then I also cover Rodecaster, I also cover Stream Deck, and various other different kind of topics within the overall channel. So what this TubeBuddy feature allows you to do with upload defaults is you can basically select multiple different description defaults that you want to use for those different use cases. So it means that if I'm uploading a video about Stream Deck, for example, I may have a different set of keywords, a different set of description items, or whatever in the description. So that's what that particular feature is. So next up, we've got a thumbnail generator. Honestly, this is something that I don't really use. I do tend to just create my thumbnails myself, but it is there on all of these. Video topic planner, that's like an assistant that allows you to, or a way to sort of capture ideas. Again, personally, I've got other ways of doing that, so I don't particularly use that one. Let's just come down to some of these ones that I potentially do. Comment formatting, formatting of your comments and things like that. So I'll just go down to some of these other features, which really, this area here, bulk processing, this was actually the thing that caused me to switch over from the regular tier, the Pro, up to the Legend. And what this allows you to do is, as it says, bulk processing, but it's things like find and replace, or adding text in to your descriptions, your titles, but also removing it again as well. Now, the reason that caused me to make this switch was when I'd started making videos on YouTube. I was making quite a lot of videos. They tended to be about, things like, tech tools and so on. And at some point I thought, well, maybe I should be actually putting links to all of my gear in my descriptions, like so many other creators do. And so I figured that I needed to go back through all of my videos and just go and add in, affiliate links to Amazon for all of the different gear that I use in my studio. I thought that would be a useful thing to put in for people watching, and obviously as a revenue stream from affiliate revenue. So at that point, I'd got over 100 videos on my channel at this point. And so what I wanted to do was just go and do it in bulk. And that is what this allowed me to do. So the bulk find and replace, I'll just give you a quick demo of how this works. If I go back out to my video library here, or channel content, if I go up to the bulk and miscellaneous tools, there's just a thing here that says find and replace. So you can click in that. You can search for any text. So if you want to replace some existing text, and I mentioned about how in YouTube you can put a stock block of text at the bottom. Well, I basically went through and sort of found like the key parts in that block of text that I wanted to replace with all of my affiliate links. And by the way, these boxes are expandable, so you can add in, really quite a lot of information. So you can put in the information you want to find, what you want to replace it with, whether to search in titles, or in my case, in this particular instance that I'm giving you, was just searching in the descriptions. And then it's going to show you, or it's going to go through and find and replace that text. Incidentally, you can search in just a specific playlist. So another instance where I use this is if I'm running a special offer on my Rodecaster Masterclass, for example, then what I'll do is I'll go through and find all of my Rodecaster related videos. So they're all in a playlist. And so you can just search into specific playlists as well and have it apply these things. So it's a really useful feature as well. If any links change, if you want to add in new information, things have changed on my website. For example, when I migrated over to Kajabi, when I started doing more courses, I migrated my website, some of the links I needed to update. So being able to just quickly go and do these, if you think about what your time is worth, this one alone is worth the price of admission for TubeBuddy. And with the things that I've done with this over, the time that I've been a TubeBuddy user, I would say that this one feature is more than being paid for by the, or rather more than paid for the cost of the TubeBuddy license there. So that's a great feature that I really love and use heavily. There is also another one related to this, and that is also a legend-only feature. Is this one, bulk thumbnail overlays? Now, what that allows you to do is you can basically add something, an overlay, over the top of your thumbnail. And you think, well, what's the point of that? Why would you want to just sort of put something over the top of your thumbnails? Well, the reason I used this is, for example, when I ran my Rodecaster Duo giveaway a few months ago, I wanted to just put basically a little banner on the bottom of all of my thumbnails that were related to Rodecaster, so that if people were scrolling through the feed looking for Rodecaster information, they may well be drawn in with the idea that there was a Rodecaster Duo giveaway, and it said, Rodecaster Duo giveaway, more info in description, or something like that. So it encouraged people to click through onto the video first of all, and then obviously the reason was not just useful information related to Rodecaster in the video itself, but then also the link in the description to the giveaway. And the giveaway was actually a great way to help grow my email list. That's another whole thing, but running a giveaway like that can be great, as long as you're running giveaways that are related to your content. So it's not like I was doing a toaster oven giveaway, so that would have been no interest to my regular subscribers, or wouldn't have be relevant. But yeah, I don't know why that came to mind. I don't even have a toaster oven. There you go. But so yeah, making sure that those are relevant is a useful thing. But I digress. This is about TubeBuddy. That thumbnail overlay feature allowed me to just basically add that banner onto the bottom. And all I did was I created a regular size thumbnail image that was transparent, and then only obviously put the thing along the bottom. And that is incidentally in the same bulk processing area. You can see here you've got thumbnail overlays just there. While we're in here, I might as well just go through some of these as well. Bulk cards. So cards are those things when somebody says, oh, you can check out this other video up in the top corner, and there's a little link that appears up in the top corner that links out to something else. So this allows you to copy, update, and delete cards if you want to have these little cards appearing at certain points in your screen. You know, in theory, you could use this for, again, something else, maybe some announcement or something. To be honest, I tend to not use cards so much these days. When I started on YouTube, I thought it was the thing to do. I thought it would be great to, you know, you can have up to 5, I think, in any video. So I thought it would be useful to have those things up in the top corner, you know, linking to all other content. But actually, you're basically, you know, getting people to link away from one video into another one. And unless it's really super relevant, then I don't tend to use cards really that much. There are times when it's, you know, when it's suitable and relevant to do so. Another interesting use case of cards, though, which I'm digressing once again, as I tend to do. But if you watch your video analytics and you look at the retention over the course of a video, if you find that you've got one video where people are basically just dropping off at a certain point in it, you know, there's maybe some other underlying issues there with your content, and we've all got those. But that can actually be something where if you find that there's a point in the video where people are dropping off, then actually giving a sort of another avenue out by a link to some other content was a good tip that I've employed in a couple of videos. So you get that, you know, rather than people just switching off from that video, they're going to click through to a different one. Anyway, once again, more digressions here, but yeah, bulk cards is what that's for, and bulk end screens, the end screen being, you know, when you finish a video and then at the end there are some other options come up in terms of clicking through to another video, a playlist, or anything like that, then that would be what that is for there. So you can sort of do those in bulk. Let's get back to the list though here. So basically, these bulk processing things are things that are only available on Legend, and for me, as I say, really are worth the price of entry. When it comes to sort of managing your channel, they can be really just a huge time saver. Let's come down to some of these. I've got to say, I should do, but I haven't looked into the auto translator. I think that's a relatively new feature. If it isn't, I've been sleeping on it, because it's interesting when you go into your channel analytics and you can see the languages that people are viewing in, and also you can see things like the subtitles that they're watching, or, you know, whether they're using subtitles, and there will be a sort of automatic generation of those little captions, the subtitles at the bottom. And it will also be potentially sort of translated as well. So you can take note of that to see what languages people are watching in, and potentially look at having your videos translated. I'll need to actually look into that one. I honestly have not looked into their auto translator, so I'm not sure what that is exactly or how it works. But if we keep going down here, suggested shorts, that one of the things when you're on a particular tier, and like I'm on the Legend, so I just get all of these things, you're not necessarily sure, you know, what's on the lower tiers unless you go through. And I'm actually really pleased to see that suggested shorts is also a pro feature, because what that does is, if you look on the TubeBuddy interface, come over to here, there is, if I get this other one out of the way, I've just get that out off the screen. Oops, I pressed it twice. Here we go. There is this suggested shorts thing here. And what that will do is it will go away and sort of process your videos, and it will find specific long form videos, but then it will tell you sort of the time within that video that you could potentially think about going and clipping. In fact, in YouTube on the mobile app as well, you can just take any video and take a little clip out of the middle. And the benefit of doing it from the videos themselves is that if you take a clip out of an existing video, then YouTube will sort of link back to that from the short. I won't leave this running right now, or at least I won't wait for it to finish, because it does take a while to basically go through your videos and process them and decide, you know, where it thinks, using AI, of course, what are the good little snippets that you could clip out. If I'd had a bit more forethought, I would have left this running before the stream start, but I didn't. So here we go. It's coming up right now. This is just a few of the. In fact, what I'm noticing is it's picking out a lot of my podcasts, which is great, because it is people that are, you know, other folks that have been on the channel. So here you can see these are a selection of conversations, so a great thing for shorts actually. So these are a snapshot of a number of different podcast episodes that I've got on my channel. It's really interesting, actually, that's the bits that it's pulled out. That probably indicates that I waffle on and talk nonsense, and these are all the smart people. But anyway, you can see here what's happening. So Keith obviously had some little snippet of information there from the 28 minutes 13 to 28:28. So we could go in and we could clip that. But let's just go and see what happens if I press that. It's going to pull out the bit where... So that was just some bit of information that it's pulled out. I've just stopped it there rather than let it run for the whole thing. But you can see that what it's doing is it's actually showing you the part in the video that it thinks is worthy of a short. Now, obviously, you know, with these AI things, not every one of these is going to be necessarily a hit. I'm sure all these people did have pearls of wisdom that it's picked out. But whether it's your content or whoever it is, then yeah, the actual structure of it may not be quite right. But crucially, it's shown you the point in all of those where you may want to look at pulling out that short. So just coming back to this list then, that shorts, suggested shorts is a great feature, and it's pro and legend level. We've also got video A/B tests and title generator. This is another one that's really useful. Now, what this allows you to do is you basically are going to upload your, I should say, step back a minute. It's for basically split testing either your titles, your descriptions, or your thumbnails. And what I mean by that is when you want to know if something's working or if something can be improved, you want to be sort of trying out different things. But how do you actually do that and subjectively sort of figure out which is the best way? Obviously, you can just try something different from one video to the next, but you're not really doing a like-for-like comparison. So a split test is where you basically run something where you've got the exact same video, the exact same content, but you're changing ideally one thing at a time, or definitely only change one thing at a time, where you might have the same video running but with two thumbnails. Now, obviously, you don't want to run those on your channel as two separate videos, and that's where the split testing comes in with TubeBuddy, because it will just basically go through and it will sometimes serve with one thumbnail, sometimes serve the video with another thumbnail, and you get some really detailed information on the click-through rate, the CTR, which is a key metric to look at when you're looking at your analytics. That's basically saying for every 100 times that your video is presented in the people's feed when they're scrolling, then how many times do people actually click through? What's the click-through rate as a percentage? Now, if you've got a click-through rate of, let's say 4%, 5%, 10%, it doesn't matter what it is. What you're looking for is the relative difference between that and whatever it is that you're testing. Now, I always use this example that I once, after not touching anything on my channel for the first 100, 150 videos or something, I thought I might try to update my thumbnail style slightly and make a few tweaks, because up until then it had literally been, every thumbnail looked exactly the same, just with a slightly different stupid expression on my face and a slightly different title relevant to what it was, but there was no real sort of change from one to the next. It was a very consistent style, and after a while I grew to loathe it. It was never, I am the recovering perfectionist, but it was never ideal from the start. It was never perfect, and over time I just thought, I'm not really sure that looks great, and I think it could be a lot better. So I wanted to stick with still this consistent look to it, because part of that came out of necessity, because in the beginning of my channel I was making a video every day, and it was just basically 2 hours every day that I had to actually record the video, upload the video, make the thumbnail, do all of that. So that's why the necessity for not spending ages on a new design each time for my thumbnail was there. Anyway, I redesigned it slightly and tweaked it to something that I thought looked a lot better, and bolder colors, bolder font, and just I thought everything sort of popped out a little bit more. But I ran the split test by using some of my existing videos and then updated the thumbnail on a whole bunch of them, and ran the split test, and it turns out that what I thought looked better actually wasn't having any impact, and worse, it was having a detrimental impact. And it might have only seemed like a percentage point or two. Let's say my original might have had a click-through rate of let's say 5%, and then my new one had a click click-through rate of 4%, you might think, oh, well, it's just about the same. Actually, that's a massive difference, because what that means is basically going from 4% to 5%. That's a 25% increase, or going the other way, it's a 20% decrease from my original to this this new improved style. And what that means in real terms is you're getting 20% fewer people that are watching that video. And obviously, we want people to see our videos. If we are treating this like a business and we want to grow, it's all about, getting people to click through from your thumbnail, from the title, and then, go through to watch. So that is basically the first step of people getting there and watching your content. So a small little percentage point here and there, you've always got to take the sort of relative difference between them, because that's what is key there. There again, TubeBuddy helped me out, because it showed me that this potential improvement that I was making that looked great in my eyes wasn't actually having that effect at all. And it turns out the ones that I didn't like the look of were the ones that were performing better. So the split testing then is a really helpful tool, and you can use that to test the thumbnails, but also you can do exactly the same with your title. So when people are scrolling on YouTube, obviously there are two things that catch their eye. First of all, you would guess the thumbnail would be the thing, but then the title and the sort of the promise of what is in the video. Then once they click through, then you've got to look at what happens when they get in there, and there's tools for that which we'll come to in a moment. And in fact, right on cue, the Opportunity Finder is one such tool. So what this is doing is the Opportunity Finder is intended to look for instances where you've maybe got a great video that's got good retention. So when people click through on it, they are actually sticking on the video and watching it, but people are just not necessarily going through to it. So let's take a look at what this looks like in the dashboard. I'll come over to here. So there's this thing called Click Magnet. And it's this one, CTR Opportunities. That's the Opportunity Finder. So if I click on this one, this is going to show me a number of instances where the opportunity is high. Now, what this is saying is basically this video, the Rode Streamer X What You Need to Know, that has got a good engagement once people click through to it. However, the click-through rate, as you can see here, is relatively low compared to some of my other videos. So 3.7% click-through rate. So people aren't clicking through to that. However, when people do click through to it, the video is performing really well. So you've got to always balance these things. You want people to click on your videos, but also you want to make sure that you're delivering on expectations once they get into the video. And so there's you can either improve the thumbnail to get more people in, or potentially, you can look at the retention once they do get in, and see how you may be able to, keep people watching, because you might be, might need to adjust the way that you're delivering your content or whatever it is. So this is just showing you what this does. So I could go back to this video now, and incidentally, it's interesting to note that most of my videos do have my face on them, however good or bad that is. It has been shown that having a person on the thumbnail does increase the sort of click-throughs to a certain extent. Obviously, there are, it's not always the case, but in general, having a picture on can help with that. So maybe that is part of the reason. Maybe I should try redoing this with my picture on it and do a split test and just see which one works. The other thing then is the actual expression that you've got on your face. There is a reason why we all do this silly YouTube face on our thumbnails, because it does make a difference. And there is, in fact, a tool for that as well. If I just come back out of here for a second, let me just find this for you, because this is called the Element Inspector. And if I go to my emotion thing on here, so this is back over here. So this is the Click Magnet tool that there is in TubeBuddy, and this is their Element Inspector. And here you can see which emotions drive the most clicks. So I've got a series of different, it's basically analyzed my thumbnails and analyzed the facial expression in the thumbnail. So I'm either happy, surprised. I'm never sad in my thumbnails, it seems. I should probably try it and see what difference that makes. Surprised, calm, and confused. So it looks like the confused image is the one that is giving the best results. You have to just look at the thumbnails. I mean, actually, it's only pulling out 2 there, and that one doesn't actually look very confused in any case. But nevertheless, it'd be worth looking at, what is that high click rate through for, and see where what's going on there. So this is showing you basically the different expressions that you've got on your face. So I thought that was an interesting thing when I first saw it. Whether they got text or no text, mine tend to always have text. And now I'm looking at this. This is probably something I should test, isn't it? I should probably just take some of my most popular videos and run a test with them with a different thumbnail that's got no text on it, for example. So that is just another one of the TubeBuddy tools that I find useful. That whole click magnet is going to give you these opportunities and so on. So let me just come down here. What else have we got? The other thing that I use actually quite a lot is their keyword finder. And what that is, if I come into to here, I'll come back up here, click on TubeBuddy, and then this one right at the top, Keyword Explorer. So if I launch this and I was going to do a video about, let's say, I don't know, new Rodecaster features, new Rodecaster Pro features. And I'm just going to, firmware update. I'm going to type something that might be like the start of a title. Firmware firmware update. I can never type and talk. You know that. Click on Explore, and it's going to give you a score for that as a title. And you can see there that it's fair. It's got things like search volume. So it's looking for what you've got in your title versus what people are currently searching for. But then it's also going to give you a sort of ranking based on the competition weight and the optimization strength. So these are related to, obviously how many other people are producing content in this field and where you sit within that. So you can also do a search here. It tells you on YouTube over the past 30 days, but you can look over 12 months as well. It will give you some more information there. And then here are some specific searches that people might have searched for. You can also search in Google though, because bearing in mind that, and it says no related searches. So let me just do something slightly different. Rodecaster, how about this then? Rodecaster, because there hasn't been a firmware update. That might be why. Rodecaster Duo versus Rodecaster Pro 2. Which one should you choose? Let's try that. Yeah, it's going to give you some different data. And again, as I say, it's giving you for YouTube, but you can search on Google as well. So bearing in mind that YouTube is the second biggest search engine, Google obviously these days the first. However, bear in mind also that your YouTube videos will get served in Google search. So it's interesting to see what's coming up there. But what you can also do is click in here to see the results. And this is going to show you other videos that are trending with that result. Interestingly, top ranking in this search unusually is my channel this time. So that's always nice to see, I guess. But here we've got some other videos. So if you're going to be making a video about something, specifically something that's topical and that other people are making videos about right now, then it can be interesting to look at these to see which, what videos are going to be, what titles people are using, even what thumbnails people are using as well. So here is my video, the Duo versus the Pro 2 that I made a couple of months ago. Here are some other people making similar videos, and here's what they've done in their thumbnail. So it's a great way to just do a bit of research on other people's channels and what they're doing. So yeah, I find this really useful though. It just helps with the title. You can play around here and put in different titles. You'll see this weighting. I don't pay too much attention to it. Like, I'm not constantly chasing every little last percentage, but if I see something that comes out as really poor, then I can generally say there's something not right. But if it's anywhere in these top two sort of green areas, it's just a good indication. But for me, it's also more about clicking into the results and actually seeing what those other videos might be, and whether something is what sort of views they're getting on those as well is always useful. Bearing in mind that you can't really ever compare yourself to somebody else directly because it all depends on a whole load of other things. But it's useful to just have a look at that nevertheless. Let's just come through and take a look at some of these other things then on the list. We've looked at the keyword explorer, the publish to Facebook. That is a legend only feature. I haven't actually been doing that much recently. However, what that is, just so that we're clear on that, I wonder when I stopped doing that and why I stopped doing that. Sometimes these things I don't know myself, but if you go into any video that you've got here, and I just click on the little TubeBuddy icon there, there's this option here, publish to Facebook, and that's specifically for this video. And if I was to click on that, then it's going to pull in the title, it's going to pull in the description. The only one thing that you have to do sort of manually is click on choose file and actually find the video file itself. But all of this other stuff is just automatically done, and you click on publish, and then it will just publish that in the background. So if you are sort of like cross posting your videos from YouTube to Facebook, then this basically just helps to streamline that. It saves you having to obviously copy all of this stuff over, and you can just do it once you've uploaded your video to YouTube. Click on this one, click on choose file, cross post and publish to Facebook. So that is a useful feature if you are looking to post to Facebook. I've got to go into the depths of my mind and figure out when I stopped doing that and why I stopped doing that, because I can't just remember offhand. The other thing is the milestones here. Now, that's something really useful. You may have seen these on Twitter, Instagram, people posting, whenever they hit a certain milestone, then they get a little alert from TubeBuddy, and it makes a nice little image for them with the milestone and so on. It's funny, I actually really like these, and a lot of people do, I think, that are TubeBuddy members, because it is nice to sort of mark the progress and celebrate your wins a little bit. And so when I do hit certain milestones, obviously when I started out my channel, it was 10 subscribers, 20 subscribers, 50, 100, and then suddenly the frequency drops. So I tend to do it like at the 1,000 mark now. But as you're growing, you sort of are marking those points a little bit bigger, a little bit more. As it gets bigger, then sure, you see people that are just marking the 100,000s, and then Mr. Beast, I'm sure he's not marking every 10 videos anymore. But still, it's a nice little feature, so I really like that one. There is one here which is the best time to publish. Now, there's a little caveat with this, really, but if you go into the analytics here, and I go into my my analytics to see what my audience is, where is it? Audience. This will tell you the audience. Here we go. So when your viewers are on YouTube, honestly, I wouldn't pay a huge amount of attention to this. I guess it's kind of good to see when they're on, maybe more so for live streaming. But when it comes to publishing videos, the number of people who are sitting there waiting to watch your video right at that moment on YouTube, compared to the long-term lifespan of a video. If I upload a video, maybe I might get, well, let's go and see the most recent video over here. So maybe a recent video, this one was, well, that was another live stream actually, so it'd probably help if I looked at a regular one. In the first 24 hours though, maybe I might get 100, 200, 300, 400 views or something like that. But longer term, I'm going to get, many more than that. So I personally don't pay a huge amount of attention to the actual time that I'm posting. I just basically post it when it's ready. So that's my approach to that. That said, it can be useful to have a consistent, time to post, or a consistent day to post, just for your own benefit, really, so that you get into that habit of saying, well, this is my almost like a deadline or whatever. But yeah, apart from that, I don't pay a huge amount of attention to that particular one. Coming back to the list then, a few other things that are just worth mentioning here. We've talked about the click magnet. That's the thing where you can see, the expressions on your face, things like that. Retention analyzer as well. That's a useful one. And then there are a whole series of other things that you've got actually off the platform as well. So all that we've been talking about so far are these things that you can find in the actual YouTube interface. There is also a web interface. So when you go into your YouTube TubeBuddy account, and they've got tools in there. I mean, for example, the split test one is in there, and then they've got other things like if you want to chart your channel compared to another channel, for example, or if you've got competitors. I don't use this myself, but if you feel that you've got particular competitors in a particular niche, you can sort of track their progress. There is a nice thing in the channel analytics, like if you go to anybody else's YouTube channel, then there is a little TubeBuddy feature that will pull up their analytics, and you can see how those look compared to yours. If I just pull up this here, I should have got this ready. We'll just try this again. Here we go. And I'll just pick out a channel. Who shall I pick? Let me just grab one from up here. Let's go to, tell you what, let's go to Ecamm, because I love Ecamm so much, and it's almost right at the top of my list. If I go to Ecamm's channel over here, and then if I flick over to this view, what you can see here is this thing up here, this channel analytics, is a TubeBuddy feature. So I'm not on my channel now. It's because TubeBuddy runs as a plugin in Google Chrome. It means that, you know, it can do things not just on your channel, but others as well. So if I go into the channel analytics for the Ecamm channel, obviously we've got all the regular stuff like subscribers and so on. But what you can see is you can compare the stats. So you can see this is at the moment. So Ecamm's channel's 28,000 views in the past month, and mine's 46. So if you do want to sort of compare your channel versus someone else's, or if you want to just see, you know, how another channel's doing, then this channel analytics is a great way to do that. And you can do things like look for the last 30 days, look for the number of new subscribers over the last 30 days, all this sort of stuff, or the number of videos and so on. Notice I've basically got one video that shows how inconsistent I've been for the last month. I've actually been out of the country and then also on holiday. So there's my one single other video this month. But yeah, it's just interesting to be able to see that, and certainly look at things like channel keywords. So that's something when it comes to setting up your channel, you can assign certain keywords to your channel to help people find those, you know, your content. So you can use this for a little bit of research as well. I've kind of glossed over like one of the main things that I really love TubeBuddy for, though, like right at the beginning. I don't actually use this so much right now. However, in the beginning, this was kind of like the thing that I was using it for. So let's take a look at that. If you've got a relatively new channel, and I'll go into any one of my my videos, and it's actually these things to help you with your uploads. So when you first start, you know, maybe you're not used to how to make the titles or how long they should be, what to put in your descriptions. There's a whole sort of checklist of things that you need to go through. So what TubeBuddy's got here in the sidebar is, first of all, upload defaults here. This is that thing that I was talking about, where you've got different uploads for different types of video that you're creating, whether it's, in my case, Stream Deck, Rodecaster, or whatever it is. And so you've got these different upload defaults, and you can choose which profile you want, and then you can like apply the description for that, or just the tags. So it means that if I've got my, you know, if this was a Rodecaster video, I could select Rodecaster in here and then click tags, and it would just automatically apply those tags. So that's just something that's going to be a sort of time saver for when you're uploading. But this one down here, though, the best practices, this is useful because this is just telling you basically what you have and haven't done. So adding chapters, for example, get a like on Facebook, heart a comment. So these are all different things that you can do, but it shows down here completed things. So if I go to this, it should show me my completed best practices. So things like the length of the title and so on. These are ones that have already been done, add an end screen and so on. So these are other things, though, that you could go through and do. And saying that, I don't use this very much these days because I've kind of got into the habit of, you know, what I need to do. It does still highlight things, like I haven't gone through and added in chapter markers, for example, to this video. So it shows you all of those. Incidentally, while we're on that, that is another useful feature of TubeBuddy, which is if you want to add in these markers on your timeline so that people can easily just jump from one step to another, the way that you do that is in your description, you would go through and you would add in some text like 0.00, and then that would be intro, for example, and then you could add in, you know, the next step, which might be at 30 seconds in. So you do it like that, and that might be, you know, section 1, for example, or whatever you want to call it. You wouldn't call it section 1, but you get the idea. So that's how you add in those timestamps. Well, there is actually a timestamp generator in here, or chapter marker generator, and if you click on this this button, it's going to bring this up. And what this allows you to do is you can watch your video back. I'll just pause it though. You can watch it back at double speed, and then every time you want to just drop a marker in, let's say I'm going to go forward a little bit. Is it going to let me scrub through? Let's just add one here, shall we? Click on the little plus. I I can't just drag that at the moment. Interesting. Anyway, you can drag that somehow. I'm obviously doing something wrong. It's usually user error during a live stream, but you can just click on a little button to add a chapter marker, and then you can just type in what you want for that particular chapter marker. And then once you've got a series of those put in, you can just click the add to video and it'll automatically add it to the description. So that's just another little feature of TubeBuddy. But yeah, these things here are ones that I used to use kind of like every time I uploaded a video when I was just getting into the swing of it and, you know, getting into the flow of uploading my videos. The other thing that they've got in here is this tag generator. Where's this one? Just down here. So here you've got tags, and just to be clear about tags, it does actually say in here, you know, YouTube themselves say that tags can be useful if content in your video is commonly misspelled. Otherwise, tags play a minimal role in helping viewers find your video. So don't spend too long thinking you've got to find the perfect tag to help people find it. As YouTube say, they play a minimal role. You're really looking for maybe different ways to phrase things, different ways to spell things. So, you know, if you're doing a video about a particular topic, there may be a number of different ways you could actually introduce it or phrase it. And so rather than going through and putting all of those or trying to shoehorn them into your description, you can just put them there, or as it says, for common misspellings. But what TubeBuddy then does is you can just import a whole list of tags. So if you've got content that you're making on a regular basis or about a topic on a regular basis, you can just import a whole batch of different tags in from here. And as you can see, it's got suggested tags as well. So actually, these are the things that I used to use TubeBuddy for in the beginning. And then it was as the content grew, as I got more things out there, then I started using it for more of those slightly more advanced things, you know, the find and replace and all of that kind of stuff. So with that said, let me just check in on some of the chat a minute, because I've been neglecting it. Your Pass Driving, hello, great to see you here, and thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you're finding it all useful. Ableton Live Producer, hello from Ireland, great to see you here too. And David, great to see you too. Where are we up to now with and Orbs? Oh, it was so great to speak to you the other day, Orbs. Always great to speak to you, but it was just nice to actually speak face to face on on Zoom the other day. And Jeremy, great to see you here and in the chat as well. Hi Terry, fantastic to see you too. I'm glad you're enjoying the course. And here, I wonder if using a ChatGPT produced title will yield better results when searching for popularity and possible click-through rates. Yeah, I mean, the ChatGPT can be trained effectively to, create well-crafted YouTube titles. You know, there is something to it, you know, in terms of how you phrase things and how you put them in. So definitely you could use ChatGPT and, you know, frame it to say that you are a YouTube content creation expert or whatever, and we want to create titles that are going to generate the maximum engagement and click through or whatever, and then just test it out and then give it feedback as well. And definitely, you know, using the split testing there to just try out different things. One thing to note with split testing, and there is a way you can select this in TubeBuddy. It's a case of having something that's statistically significant. So if your video is shown to 10 people and 5 with one title and 5 with another, then that's not necessarily statistically significant. And so you just need to give it long enough time to run so that it does have that data. Now in TubeBuddy, when you use their split testing, you can set it for a particular time, but you can also say, I just want you to run it for as long as it takes to be statistically significant. Now that's the one that I always use, and when I've run this in the past, some videos, depending on what I'm testing them on, some videos I'll get a result in, you know, a matter of days. Other ones, I kind of forget that the test is running, and then 3 months later it says we've got a result, and it's like, oh right, okay, so I guess that wasn't really a particularly popular video in any case if it's taken 3 months to get a significant amount of data. And by statistically significant, I'm not sure what their cutoff is for that. You know, it might be 100 videos with each one, or it might be 1,000 videos for 1,000 views for each one, or 1,000 points, whatever, 1,000 views of the thumbnail. So there is that. But yeah, definitely ChatGPT anything to do with titles, descriptions, and so on can be crafted. I have tried using ChatGPT to generate my descriptions, but I need to train it a little bit more to write them like me, because it always comes off as not at all the way I would speak. So let me just say that. And that's down to me not sort of training it as to how I want my my description. So yeah, I'm sure I could improve it in that way. But yeah, definitely. I mean, these days it can do pretty much anything, can't it? So hey Keely, great to see you, and in the Discord as well. So yeah, that is a sort of intro to TubeBuddy. As I say, I'm not going to go through a full tutorial of it. I do have tutorials on, I think, most of the features actually in the playlist that I've linked to in the description. Really, as I say, it was just because it came up twice as a solution. So twice this week in the Digital Stage Revolution event, which I just finished earlier on this week, and then also in my academy, somebody had got a specific question where it was like, well, TubeBuddy is the answer. So I thought it was just worth mentioning that. And then I noticed that they've got this Black Friday deal on where you can get 40% off. Honestly, $25.20 for a month at that legend level. If you are, getting into YouTube as, as a business, which is the best way to do it, then yeah, it can certainly save you a lot of time. And I would guess more than $25 worth a month. But certainly the pro level, though, has got some great features. But this is even without the discount. So if you get the 40% off, then yeah, you're saving a massive amount there. And I just noticed, if I come back down to the bottom, look at that friendly face. Diana Gladney is also right there on the front page. So if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me as well. So with that said, if you've got any questions about TubeBuddy, feel free to drop them in the comments. I should say, actually, I have got a YouTube masterclass, YouTube beginner's guide, I should say. And you can get access to that. I'll link to that in the description as well. Depending on when you're watching that, I'm literally just putting the finishing touches to this, adding in some more content over the next week. But here it is. It is intended for people setting up their YouTube channel, wanting to grow on YouTube. So I cover all about how to use YouTube Studio, and then going into setting up the channel, talking about content creation on YouTube, obviously uploading videos and so on, and then also going into sort of live streaming, and ultimately onto how to monetize on YouTube. And by the way to monetize on YouTube is not to monetize on YouTube, it's to use YouTube as an inbound marketing method to then monetize off YouTube. So that is the way that I advocate doing this. And incidentally, if you want to know why that is, if I just come back over to my YouTube channel, click on cancel, we'll get out of that. I can show you at 8,000 subscribers where I am right now, or just over, I think. But if I come over to my analytics once again, this is kind of what it means when people say, don't hang everything on monetization on YouTube. So $390, it fluctuates depending on views, obviously, but around about $400 a month, something like that, at 8,000 subscribers is what that really means. So it's not really a sustaining income. It's very nice, and I'm very grateful for it. But there are plenty of other ways that you can monetize off YouTube, where you're using YouTube as the inbound sort of marketing for that. So things like the Take One Tech Academy, if you want to know how to level up for all things YouTube, and also for your on-screen presence in your meetings and to use all these tools for your business, then there is the Take One Tech Academy. I suppose this is where I should pop up various different things to to sort of highlight this. But the best place to come, though, first of all, is always the community. So that's free to join, the takeonetech.io/family. That's where you can come into Discord and get your questions answered there as well. But yeah, all the courses I do, I'm obviously using YouTube as an inbound marketing tool for that. So that's the way to really monetize, and I cover that in the course as well. So you can find a link to the YouTube beginner's guide in the description. What I'll do is, for those that are watching on the replay, I'll leave a link to all of my other TubeBuddy playlist over on the right hand side. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks also to wonderful channel members who support the channel too. I appreciate you all, and I'll speak to you all and see you all next time.